Hi everyone, I'm Astro Coach Amy. Welcome to my show, The Divine GPS Navigator. Today we'll be talking about a preview for 2018. It does look like a powerful new year and that the universe is really anxious for us to awaken. Now, we know that most people make resolutions, and what if you just made one this year you felt excited about and really couldn't wait till the end of the year to know that you'd accomplished it? So why not think about that? And for a second new thing to do this year, what about waking up every day and thinking, how can I make a difference? And with the planets right now, with so many planets in the fire sign of Sag, as well as we have some planets in the fire signs of in the air signs of both Libra and in Aquarius, really the focus on the planet right now is about contribution. So you'd be right in sync, and probably some fantastic things might open up. Now, we know our new year began with a full moon, which is very unusual and really high energy. And of course, we've heard that the Chinese New Year, there's even going to be a solar eclipse. So we can tell that things are going at a higher momentum. And we do have 7 planets right now in fire and air, which can tend definitely to make things much more volatile. We only have to look in the news to see that that's true right now. But how about for yourself? Do you just feel like if something goes wrong, you just feel like you want to explode in anger? And if that's the case, take a look. You have a great chance with this incredible lineup right now to look at that and really make a fast change. Or you can go the other direction, go the low road, and things may escalate really quickly into a full-scale argument or fight because there is that heavy energy. So let's choose the high road. Now, the other thing that's really interesting is right now we have some powerful retrogrades this year. I'm going to take a look through the show. We're going to look at those in greater detail. So again, it's an opportunity to really work with that energy, which will be a little bit different this year. And again, stay open. And if we can do that, I think we may be able to see some changes that we just didn't expect. Maybe not always comfortable. Now, with Jupiter, it's in the air sign of Libra. We also know that many people follow Chinese astrology, which is the year of the dog, beginning next month. So both of these are about relationships. Of course, dogs have always loved people, and people love dogs, and that's definitely a interesting relationship compared to most of the animals in the Chinese astrology. But Jupiter in Libra is especially important, especially because Venus does rule the planet Libra. So we're looking at partnerships of every level, and I want to encourage you to look at your divine connection first. Really strengthen that connection with your heart and soul and see the bigger picture and that bigger energy, whatever you call it, that I think will bring you much greater peace and serenity this year because we know things are very turbulent. And it may help you stay more positive and be able to trust the process as it begins to unfold. Now, I know many of you have heard we also have 5 eclipses this year, which is very special. And just to show you how unique, NASA said they've estimated there have only been 25 times in the last 5,000 years that there have been 5 eclipses. So I see it as another sign that we're really being asked to change very quickly in order to help Mother Earth and each other at this time. Now, eclipses are vehicles, and they basically help clear out old physical and emotional patterns that no longer serve us, and they open the gateway for new chapters. They're not easy, they're not always comfortable, but fortunately with astrology, we do have a tool and some language to help us interpret and understand what's going on and give us more choices. So we really can stay on the high road, have more joy, even though things may not be always so comfortable. Now, the first 2 eclipses are going to occur. The first one will occur this month, actually. It's our blue moon, January 31st. It's our lunar eclipse. And then that solar eclipse will be on the Chinese New Year, February 16th. Then 6 months later, we'll be looking at the other 3 eclipses, and those begin in the summertime, and that'll be begin on July 12th, and those eclipses will finish by August 11th. So that's really powerful news. In addition, we always have 3 retrogrades, Mercury retrogrades. They happen every year in different elements. This year, they're in the element of water, which is about emotion and intuition. And sometimes those can be hard to wrap our head around because they just aren't very tangible or real sometimes. However, for most of us, we can certainly tell from our mood how we're behaving and how we feel. So the good news is it is important and a good time to really increase your ability in emotional intelligence, because when you can be open yourself and to others, really you can surf the waves. This can be a tremendously powerful cycle, these 3 retrogrades, and it may open up all kinds of creativity and just amazing things you hadn't dreamt of. But get out your surfboard, practice that emotional intelligence, and you may have some really fantastic experience. The first one does begin, which is Mercury retrograde in Pisces, does begin March 23rd, and that will complete April 15th. Now, what also makes this year special is we have both Mars and Venus going retrograde as well. And of course, Mars, our spiritual warrior, this year will be retrograde in the Earth sign of Capricorn, which is about achievement and about being a really good Earth steward and looking at those things. But Mars wants to get things done now, or maybe yesterday. And it really is focused on momentum, and it really doesn't like being interrupted. So part of the training with a Mars retrograde is how to be more flexible, be willing to work with others, and really watch that, that instant plug of wanting to get angry at things. Be willing to reconsider, negotiate, take a breath, step back, do things differently, maybe get some more exercise, but use the energy differently. And if we focus on the big ego, which might be like our higher self, and we look at things such as civil disobedience, hip-hop dance, or even the martial arts, these are tremendous things that were developed, of course, most of them many years ago, and the other is more recent. But the point is, these are ways that people chose to use that fiery passion of Mars in positive, constructive ways. Change their thinking, it changed their action. So let's look at that idea when we consider this Mars retrograde, and I think we'll have a different experience. Now, Mars will go through that motion June 26th, and it will complete the retrograde cycle August 27th. Now, Venus, our love goddess, is going to be in a retrograde motion October 5th, and it will complete its cycle November 16th. Now, of course, our love goddess isn't only just about relationships in the movies. It's also about every day, your personal values and what's important to you, as well as your money. And it isn't just counting your money, but it's really what's important. What do you invest in? What are you looking at? And what are your long-term goals? So with Venus retrograde, there may be times when we need to let go of relationships. There may be people no longer serving you in your life. And it may be time to let them go, because there may be fantastic people coming in that you resonate with better and really make you feel empowered. So these are some of the things that a Venus retrograde is going to serve and help you learn. Now, in addition, we know that the media is marching along with all kinds of sensationalism, and it can't be ignored. But what if we took a look, and what if our response, instead of pointing fingers and being so angry at what's being reported or who's doing something wrong, what if you took that as an opportunity to see what it evokes in you? What is it that needs to be released? What can you let go of, or what can you heal and have more peace? And how could you help someone that might be suffering and might act in some way that you don't like? Perhaps even just sending them a good thought, or sending that positive energy to those places in the world right now that are so troubled and in so much conflict. This could be a tremendous way during especially this unique year to really bring things back to yourself and be able to take a look at how you can make that difference, and then as a result really be of greater service in your local community and certainly with your family and friends. Now, as we begin this new year, we already know it's off to a really fast start. And personally, I'd like to join with you and go the distance. I'd like to encourage everyone, myself included, to maintain an attitude of gratitude, really keep your heart open to some new possibilities and opportunities because they're waiting for you. And I like to offer this idea. Instead of looking at the year with the conflicts and all the weather problems that everyone's predicting, what if we instead envisioned, what it might feel like, what it might look like to, in small ways, each day, make a contribution towards your life and others, that we can live with kindness, we could live with more love, we could live with more peace just within our daily lives, and see that expanding around the world this year. And really make that as a goal, that we really could make, life on planet Earth a very joyful, more peaceful experience this year. So I know that gets me pretty excited to think about. I'm so happy you joined me on the Divine GPS Navigator. I'm Astro Coach Amy.